Welcome to the Hive. You have 8 online friends. Says Yoshi 163,192. Sorry, I'm a comedian. Says Unspeakable 2878. You. Hi reverse. Says Axolotl Cinema has come on. A comma didn't get your store purchase? Try fix per case. Sebastian 7648 has gone offline. Says Formed Baker 8150. You. Hey everyone, and this is for Medbaker. Lot of technology issues. Says Axolotl Cinema, I like your video. Says Formed. Says Axolotl Cinema in live stream. Says QWERTYboard 4824. Says Alana plays 9834. Omu I had Yomash. Says Axolotl Cinema PLS party. Says Alana plays 9834. Axolotl Cinema wants you to join their party. Says Formed Baker 8150. You. YouTube live is lot harder. Says Axolotl Cinema, I know him watching it. Says Gumball 9763. Plus. AA. Says Axolotl Cinema, join my party. Says Form. Says Gumball 9763. Plus. Can someone buy to me Hive Ultimate Upgrade PLS? Says QWERTYboard 4824. Plus. Luke. You're okay? Says Gumball 9763. Plus. PLS. Shadow Cloud 2321. Says Gumball 9763. Plus. OM. Comma need help? Go to supportplayhive.com. Says form. Says Axolotl Sinem PLS. Says formed Baker 8000. Says Gumball 9763. Plus. Can someone buy to me Hive plus plus? Says formed Baker 8. Says Axolotl Sinem yeah. Says Deft Saturn 1607 EAE. Says Gumball 9763. Plus. Can you buy? Says Gumball 9763. Plus. PLS. Says form. Says form. Says K1LLG URL 123. I have a crush on Lily Lova braids. Says Steep Me Up O. Says QWERTYboard 4824. Plus. Lou. Says Gumball 9763. Says form. Says Lukia 104. You. Yes? Says QWERTYboard 4824. Plus. Luke. You're okay? Says Lukia 104. You. I'm fine. Says QWERTYboard 4824. Plus. K. Says Fletcher 7. Says QWERTYboard 4824. Plus. You. Says formed Baker 8. You've received a custom server invite from R0 Shambo 4833. Says formed. Comma found someone breaking the rules? Report them with report. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Nice. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Cool Beans. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Ha. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Cool beans, says smoke axolotl, you, beans. Says axolotl sinem is a YT. Says shadow cloud 2321, you, me and mo kipop ina VCRN. Says smoke axolotl, you, dying. Says QWERTY board 4824, plus, I feel. Says Lukia 104, you, don't. Says smoke axolotl, you, wah. Says QWERTY board 4824, plus, even you. Says shadow cloud 2321, you, GGS. Says Lukia 104, you, QWERTY. You've received a custom server invite from Mamacita 4994. Run the command CS to accept. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Oi 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 I. Axolotl Sinem wants you to join their party. Open the party menu to accept. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Says Smoke Axolotl. You. TY. Says Lukia 104. You. Ike. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. I am a eagle. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Q. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Im insane dog. Says Smoke Axolotl. You. EEAAA ligature you. Says Smoke Axolotl. You. Says QWERTY board 4800. Says Lukia 104. You. AFK. Says QWERTY board 4824. Plus. OK. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. IDK for me. Says QWERTY board 4824. Plus. I will sit with you for a bit. Follow our Instagram. @thehivemic. Says QWERTY board 4824. Plus. QWERTY board 4824 has gone offline. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. I'ma become Eclipse RQ. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Me and Moki are robot besties in RP. Says Formed Baker 8150. You. Oh. Says Mamacita 4994 high formed. QWERTYboard 4824 has come online. Says Mamacita 4994. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. What's with that devastated O? Says Axolotl Cinnamon. Says Mamacita 4990. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Am watching live stream. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Mokes watching too. Says Amarist Woman S with Sidilan de diaresis ILE. Says Amarist Pstad LA diaresis. Says Amarist LBTS with Sidilla A diaresis Lee. Says Mamacita 4994. Says Axolotl Cinnamwa. Says Anti-Adu 1 Oven High. Says 4. Says Moke Axolotl. You. I saw. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Hi. Says Moke Axolotl. You. With my own two eyes. Says Amarist Alist Nies with. Says Axolotl Sinam why they think him a YouTuber. Says Amarist Nisfots. Says QWERTYboard 4824, plus. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Hi Mian. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Neon. Says Form. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Akaima pretend I meet you Moke. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Hello MH Poo. Kez. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Okay. Says Dark Moon 3827. You. Hi Neon. Duck King 2016 has gone offline. Says Quicksilver 17. You. My cookies. QWERTYboard 4824 has gone offline. Says Neon 6330. You. Hi Dark. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Sits in fire. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Walks in. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Neon Hi. Says Neon. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Casually cleans bushes. Says Neon 6330. You. Hi Mr. Fluff again. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. HRU. Tito the Bold has gone offline. Says Neon 6330. You. Good, says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. By the way, Eclipse has a robot voice, says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Where is Snoopy? Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Hello, Blobeth. Says Neon 6330. You. He is not alive right now. Says Form. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Didn't think I'd see you here. Says Dark Moon 3827. You. Did he die? Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Okay. Says Neon 6330. You. No Imkidden. Says Bananas Rule 89. Says Amarist Waman Den Mkbilal. Says Neon 6330. You. He is bored and watching a movie. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Oh. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Goes to library. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Says Nquixil. Comma join our Discord. Run Discord. Says Bananas Rule 89 Hi. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Neon, you promised me. Says Sadness Us. You. Hello. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Find some ancient book. What's Thio? Hello Blobeth. Says Neon 6330. You. You what? Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Ticket. Says Dark Moon 3827. You. What do you want to play? Says Amarist, you can't. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. It says there's a key. Maybe I can find it. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Casually cleans Cloudy. Says Neon 6330. You. Okay, it is done. Says Neon 6330. You. Says Real Cozy Wolf. Plus, Bro Neon left me. Welcome to the Hive. You have 5 online friends. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Cutie. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. Oh. Says Real Cozy Wolf. Plus, WAA. Says Shadow Cloud 2000. Says Lukia 100. Says Cicatrix 420X. You. Mr. Fluff. Says Cicatrix 420X. You. I love Burskin. Says Moke Axolotl. You. I'm here to buy. Says Lukia 104. You. Okay. Says Moke Axolotl. You. AMI non-existent. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You. THNX. Axolotl Cinema has come online, says Cicatrix 420X. You, NPPP, it's so cute. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You, didn't get your store purchase? Try, says Cicatrix 420X. You, 3, says R0 Shambo 4833 has gone offline. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. You have tokens? Says Lukia 104. I'm in a hide spot RNN. Says Cicatrix 420X. I used 2, now I have 15. Says VIRSON1. Plus, brother, says Van 6842. You, says Mr. Fluff 8621. Can you give my brother, says VIRSON1. Plus, Yo-Yo, says Form Baker 8150. Probably I have a great idea, says VIRSON1. Plus, long time says Cicatrix 420X. Oh, I thought you meant Minicoins. Says Van 6842. I've been busy NGL, says Van 6842. WBU, says Mr. Fluff 8621. Oh, okay. Says Bananas Rule 89, it's my birthday tomorrow and I wish I had MCS. Biggles 007 has come online, says VIRSON1. Plus, I get new PC, says Cicatrix 420X. I'm really sorry I don't have any, but I would give him it if I could, says Bananas Rule 89 Minicoins, says Cicatrix 420X. LOLTHX, says Krikito 34 Same Bana, says Cicatrix 420X. THX Bana LOL, says Bananas Rule 89 OMG LOL, says Krikito 34 LOL. Says Mr. Fluff 8621. Okay, says Van 6842. Yag, says VIRSON1. Plus, I really won't play with you, says Mr. Fluff 8621. Says Van 6842. The new mode, says VIRSON1. Plus, sure bro, says Cicatrix 420X. IDK how to turn them on, says Axolotl Cinnamon going to melt then. Dib, says Mr. Fluff 8621. Okay, says VIRSON1. Plus, new, says Maya 30705. HII Sadness, says Bananas Rule 89 but can anyone give me PLC, says Sadness Us. Says Anna's Bay 8190. Guys, today is my birthday, says Cicatrix 420X. FRIDKU and I wanna know LOL, says VIRSON1. Plus, bro get a lady LOL. Says Anna's Bay 8190. Hello, says Van 6842. How lucky, you've received a custom server invite from Irius Deagle 704. Run the command CS to accept, says Cicatrix 420X. Hi, says Anna's Bay 8190. How are you bro, says Lukia 104. What's up, says Cicatrix 420X. Says VIRSON1. Plus, huck you. Says Anna's Bay 8190. No, says Cicatrix 420X. LOL, says Van 6842. Yeah bro take lure shoot. Says Cicatrix 420X. I'm good LOLHBU, says Anna's Bay 8190. You know today is my birthday, says Bananas Rule 89 Wadim, says Bananas Rule 89 take lure shoot, says VIRSON1. Plus, nothing lady, says Cicatrix. Says Bananas Rule 80. Says R0 Shambo 4008. Says Elder Lotus 96,741. QWERTYboard 4824 has come online. Says Armed Graph 70,195. I like Coop Boys. Says Elder Lotus 96,741. 4 chicks. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Hi. Says Armed Graph 70,195. Hello. Says QWERTYboard 4824 has gone offline. QWERTYboard 4824. Says 4. Says Elder Lotus 9. Says Van. Says Anna's Bay I 8100. Says Bananas Rule 89. That's crazy. Says VIRSON1 plus YNH. Says Cicatrix 420X. You. Found someone breaking the rules? Report them with report. Says Anna's Bay I 8190. You. Says Van 6842. You. I just can't. Says Cicatrix 420X. You. Ha. Says Cicatrix 420X. You. Okay, well, IGTG, but I will see you. Happy birthday, LOL. Says Lukia 104. You. I smell tuna. UHV, so me? Says Bananas Rule 89. Also JS, I would not go crazy, I'm not that type. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Brooke Kitty 8 has come online. Says Lukia 104. You. Jimmy. Says Quicksilver 17. You. GVS Tunas. Says Van 6842. You. Y. Says Lukia 104. You. Ty. Says Quicksilver 17. You. I'm eating my broken mic. Says Lukia 104. You. Cutely munches it. Says Lukia 104. You. Oh. Says VIRSON1 plus. That for your first date. Says Van 6842. You. Says Brooke Kitty 8. Says VIR. Says Bananas Rule 89. Says Form Baker 8150. You. Says VIRSON1. Plus. 1 Be nice with lady that as you can do it. Says Van 6842. You. Whatever. Says Van 6842. You. Hey Aya. Says Bananas Rule 89. Says VIRSON1. Plus. Says Form. Says Van 6842. You. What you loved to do today. Says Bananas Rule 89. Hey, this shouldn't be awkward. Says Bananas Rule 89. I played volleyball. Says Bananas Rule 89 for club. Says Brooke Kitty 8 we. Says Form. Says Al 3x. Says Bananas Rule 89. Says Lukia 100. Says Van 6842. You. Bro what's 3? Says Bananas Rule 89 so yeah. Says Form. Follow our Instagram, @thehivemc. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Hi. Says Van 6842. You. Says Lukia 104. You. OSH. Says Van 6842. You. Knicker yeah. Says VIRSON1. Plus. 2 It's a private matter. You can handle this part freely. Says Form Baker 8100. Says Lukia 104. You. Sub to Form Darren or the mean green bean man will eat you our toes tonight. Says Van 6842. You. I eat dirt. Says Bananas Rule 89 yeah no I want bite. Says Bananas Rule 89 LOL. Says Brooke Kitty 8 okay in a fan of you form. Says XX Danix 1618. You. Blumges. Says Brooke Kitty 8 im. Says Van 6842. You. BRB. Says Bananas Rule 89 Okie. Says Lukia 104. You. Hi Brooke. Says Form. Says Brooke Kitty 8 cause yesterday I watch a video of yours and it was amazing. Says VIRSON1. Plus. 3 Do something she wants like play games or find something she can't find it or help. Says Brooke Kitty 8 High luck. Says Van 6842. You. You need help W that. Says VIRSON1. Plus. 4 and 5 It's the final. Says Bananas Rule 89 Not really I. says Van 6842, you, why not, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, formed, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, formed, says Bananas Rule 89 IDK, says Bananas Rule 89 LOL, says Shadow Cloud 2321, says Brooke Kitty 8 formed, your videos are away says formed, says formed, says Bananas Rule 89 OMG, says Lukia 104, you, LOL form ALR has her own fangirl, says Bananas Rule 89 GNU, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, explodes, says Van 6842, you, bro I can't, says Brooke Kitty 8 your will come, heart, says Van 6842, you, so much pressure, Axolotl Sinem wants you to join their party, open the party menu to accept, says Lukia 104, you, Fiia Luki, follow our Twitter, @TheHiveMook, says Quicksilver 17, you, good luck, says Van 6842, you, why can't just play the game, says Rainfall 3773, you, what if one, says Moke Axolotl, you, I just see called Cloud S Senpai, says VIRSON1, plus, she might want something as fly or get some fun, says Bananas Rule 89 would him play the game, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, dying, says Van 6842, you, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, hell, says Bananas Rule 89 yeah typical, says Axolotl Sinem yeah, says Rainfall 3773, you, yeah, says Axolotl Sinem watching it, says Quicksilver 17, you, I am a witness, says VIRSON1, plus, if she waiting you, says Lukia 104, you, XD, says Quicksilver 17, you, LOL, says Van 6842, you, Oiuhuhu, says Form Baker 8150, you, wait, says Rainfall 3773, you, WSP Shadow, says VIRSON1, plus, 3, says Lukia 104, you, Hi Hazel, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, formed Moke is simping for ME, says Quicksilver 17, you, I am witnessing everything, says Van 6842, you, says Rainfall 3707, says Bananas Rule 89 what? Says Shadow Cloud 2321, says Brooke Kitty 8 Hi Solin, says Quicksilver 17, you, no, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, dying, says Brooke Kitty 8 3, says Axolotl Sinem Wade is like my friends in classmate, says Lukia 104, you, I'm in says Bananas Rule 89 yeah I know, says Form, says Brooke Kitty 8 nice, Axolotl Sinem has gone offline, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, formed hell, says Shadow Cloud 2321, you, Moke simping for ME, says Moke Axolotl, you, Seek Mir, says Formed, says Quicksilver 17, you, XD, says Lukia 104, you, tis SH is Kraz, says Brooke Kitty 8 Solin him with a friend right now XD, says for, Comma join our Discord. Run Discord or visit Discord GG hi. Says form. Says rainfall 3773. You. Brahaha. Says Lukia 104. You. I am camera shy. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Ah. Says Lukia 104. You. No. Says Lukia 104. You. No awing. Says Brook Kitty 8 okay. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Says Lukia 104. You. Stop. Says Much Sundew 99302 Wide Yuli. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Natasha. High Form. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Moke Simping for ME Hell. Says Quicksilver 17. You. I'm a snip for me out. Says XVQ 128220. Says Quicksilver 17. Says Lukia 104. You. I'm above all the tiny ones. Says Rainfall 3773. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Boo. Says XVQ 128229. You. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. UHU Sure Moke. Says Much Sundew 99302 okay. Says XVQ 128229. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Natasha. I heard the best YouTuber was Nibbles YT ha? Says Lukia 104. You. Wrong. Says XVQ 128229. You. YLOL. Says Lukia 104. You. It's at Pontiboy. Says Much Sundew 99302 IDK. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Camera. Says XVQ 128229. You. Says XVQ 128200. Says Pink Narwhal 37. Camera. Says Much Sundew 99302 tell you what. Says XVQ 128229. You. Why you say ah. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. UA. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Why ye Luke? Says Lukia 104. You. Comma didn't get your store purchase? Says Moke Axolotl. You. N. No. Says Much Sundew 99302 hang. Says Lukia 104. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Haha I can't dying. Says Lukia 104. You. Deactivate freak mode. Says Moke Axolotl. You. My feeling for Sea Cloud is intense. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. What? Says XVQ 128229. You. I want to go play my game. Says Much Sundu 99302 Says Lukia 104. You. You're just in freak you pile osh. Says Moke Axolotl. You. She's just so beautiful. Says Much Sundu 99302. See, Axolotl Sinem wants you to join their party. Open the party menu to accept. Says XVQ 128220. Says Lukia 104. You. Activating freak mode. Says Orange 128365. Hey guys. Says Quicksilver 17. You. The chaos. Says Much Sundu 99302. No it's not. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Oop. Says Orange 128365 67. Says Lukia 104. Says Rainfall 3707. Says Gumi Bum. Plus. Stop Senpei. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Oh. Blushes deeply. T thank you. Says Quicksilver 17. You. XD. Says Lukia 104. You. I'm a like you all over Senpei. Says Lukia 104. You. Says Says Axolotl Sinem everyone follow me. Says XVQ 128229. You. Okay bye. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Sylvie Cook Luke is gonna explode her later. Says Much Sundu 99302 Says XVQ 128229. You. It is okay. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Wah. Says Lukia 104. You. I am. Says Much Sundu 99302. No it's not. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Ayo. Says Quicksilver 17. Says Lukia 104. You. Says SpongeBob 1937. Ah hell nah. Says Much Sundu 99302. CS I wanna hang out WU. Come and eat hell? Go to supportplayhive.com. Says XVQ 128229. You. Okay for a little more. Says Much Sundu 99302. Shadow Cloud 2321 has gone offline. Says form. Says Lukia 104. You. I'm an explode URNU Wu Senpei. Says Lukia 104. You. Let me touch you Senpei. Says Lukia 104. You woo. Says Funny Kayla 2010. You. Ayo. Mujurli 2 has dropped a gift. Can you find it first? Mujurli 2's gift was found. Says Moke Axolotl. You. I am Ace. Says SpongeBob 1937 fear touching. Says Queen Uni Al AU. Says XXST4R Rubik's. U. Hi. Says Moke Axolotl. U. Fear 11. Mujurli 2 has dropped a gift. Can you find it first? Mujurli 2's gift was found. Says Queen Uni I'll take this somewhere else. Says Lukia 104. U. I'll pull out the Says SpongeBob 1937 all rights hormones. Says Moke Axolotl. You. I will unfriend yo. Says Lukia 104. You. She activated my freaky mode. Says Moke Axolotl. You. K by cap. Axolotl Cinem has gone offline. Says Lost Zebra 9325 how do I turn? Says Lukia 104. You. You woo. Says XVQ 128,229. You. Wide LOL. Says Moke Axolotl. You. FR. Says Moke Axolotl. You. No. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Deactivate freak mode. Says SpongeBob 1937 kill all middle schoolers. Says Much Sundew 99,302 and Thimboard TT. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Ho. Shadow Cloud 2321 has come online. Says XVQ 128,229. You. LOL. Says Quicksilver 17. You. And pray. Says Lukia 104. You. Deactivating freak mode. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Girly Pops Luke has gone too far. Found someone breaking the rules? Report them with report. Says Rainfall 3773. You. We need to stop him. Says Lukia 104. You. AHKA camera. Axolotl Cinem has come online. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Camera. Says Lukia 104. You. Forsaken. Says Lukia 104. You. AHUAA. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Where'd Shadow go? Says XVQ 128,229. You. What happened? Says Much Sundew 99,302 IDK. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. I'm back. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Senpai. You're back. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Ayo. Says SpongeBob 1937 put Japan away. Says Axolotl Cinem are you Miku. Says Moke Axolotl. You. I missed you. Says Lukia 100. Says Formed Baker 8100. Says Matipro 8166 Kanos is a fade. Says Lukia 104. You. Moke deactivate freak mode. says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Amog, says Mok Axolotl. You. Wawai, says Bilastuber 1234 Te refers al Yaduber, says Mok Axolotl. You. Yi, says Shadow Cloud 2321. You good you ain't actin' for yourself, says Lukia 104. You. Deactivate, says Matipro 8166C, says SpongeBob 1937 100% Yaduber, says Lukia 104. You. Freak, says Lukia 104. You. Mode, says Bilastuber 1234 MC. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Okay, is this a freak show? Says Lukia 104. You. RN. Says Quicksilver 17. You. LOL. Says Lukia 104. You. Ah. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. IDK Rain. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Yes Rainy. Says Matipro 8166 Kiera Sur Mi Mejor Amiga. Says Bilastuber 1234C. Follow our Instagram, @thehivemilk. Says Lukia 104. You. I think Mokalo is deactivating freak mode, says Mok Axolotl. Says Form Baker 8150. You. Says Matip, says Lukia 104. You. It's a slow process. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Jurlipop happy THT I paid attention to her. Mujurli 2 has dropped a gift. Can you find it first? Mujurli 2's gift was found. Says Lukia 104. You. Get AWAYY. Says Lukia 104. You. No camera. Says Matipro 8166 Vamos a Hive. Imagined 9609 has come online. Says Yakeoki? Says Lukia 104. You. I think she done being freaky. Says Mok Axolotl. You. No. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. No, he's simping for me really hard in VCRN. Says Imagined 9609 dude. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. She's. Says Lukia 104. You. I'm HV Cloud do it then. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Autocorrect. Says Horn. Says Imagined 9609 am just appearing in the live C. Says Lukia 104. You. Tell her to deactivate freak mode. Says Form. says Alespaki 2024 Hi. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Deactivate freaky mode? Follow our Twitter. At the HiveMic. Says Lukia 104. You. Ty. Says. Says Lukia 104. You. Moke gone too far, you gotta threaten to unadd her. Says Moke Axolotl. You. What? Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Nah. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. I won't unadd her. Says Moke Axolotl. You. TS was a prank BIH. Says Imagined 9609 Epic Fail. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. XD. Says Poison Frog 26 Dog What is happening RN. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Mr. Luke Moke is a friend. Says Quicksilver 17. You. Let's go BK to see what Luke was saying earlier. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. Pranked y'all. Says Moke Axolotl. You. We were dying in VC. Says Shadow Cloud 2321. You. FR. Says Quicksilver 17. You. FR. Says Angel. Says Quicksilver 17. You. The demonic laugh. Says Lukia 104. You. I am AUN80D you all. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Okay, go ahead. Says for. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Sinister Witch laugh. Says Much Sundew 99302. Says Vesperius Pax. Plus, what need is there FR yelling? Says Lukia 104. You. I just did the rude PPL. Says Imagined 9609 dude I don't even with 12 years what the T-pick is happening. Says Moke Axolotl. You. GNG how am I rude? Says Much Sundew 99,000. Says Lukia 104. You. I take pranks seriously. Says Rainfall 3773. You. Oh hi Blue. Says Lukia 104. You. TT. JD Ubnik has come online. Says Lukia 104. You. It's Rudy. Says Blue Nichels 1 hi. Says Moke Axolotl. You. Welp I'm blocking you and muting you. Says Imagined 9609 oh so the topic it's rude. Says Imagined 9. Says Lukia 104. You. Go ahead you bit. Says Vesperius Pax. Plus, no th topic is immaturity. Says Imagined 9609 okay. Says Rainfall 3700. Says Imagined 9609 yeah. Says Imagined 9609 it is on floating mode. Says Lukia 104. You. All three of you can check your friends list. Says Visperius Pax. Plus. Low-key entertaining. Says Imagined 9609. What's happening on? Says Formed Baker 8001.